Do you have proof of that?
Good afternoon, it's Edgar County Watchdogs. I'm John Kraft. This is Rich Porter. That's Kirk Allen. He's from Ford County, right?
That's it. The infamous Ford County.
With the famous Ford County Board.
Yes, we're very proud of our Ford County Board.
I heard they were pretty good.
They are.
That's part of the Ford-Iroquois Health Department too, isn't it?
Don't they like selling, board members selling services to the county?
That and more, as they say in television.
We'll cover that in another article. Today we're going to cover a little bit of info on the Ford-Iroquois Public Health Department and Preacher Man. Some more interesting things have developed with our Reverend Teddy Jensen.
Teddy Jensen.
And I think after you listen to the audio and what we've got to cover on that, it ought to be pretty telling.
So,
we'll play the audio.
Yeah, let's listen to the audio, then we'll discuss it afterwards.
Mr. Jensen, you stood in front of the county board and denied that anything was wrong. Everything was good. No gift cards were being done improperly. All the audits were great. It's not true, is it, sir?
The knowledge that I had from the years I've been on the board, I had no knowledge of anything that was being done wrong.
Even after I pointed it out.
And some of the things that we're seeing here has gone back for years.
This was 2 years, sir.
Well, yeah, this is 2 years, but I'm talking about some of this stuff was in place for years. If they're going to go back, they're probably going to find this stuff going back quite a ways.
Yes, sir. And you were a board member during that time frame.
I was a board member during that time.
With that, I'm done.
However, excuse me.
No.
You're speaking and you asked me a question and let me finish my answer.
You answered your question.
No, I did not. I did not completely answer my question, sir.
Go ahead. Answer your question.
A lot of things have changed over the years, and that's apparent. And I don't feel that we as a board were kept aware of the things that were changed. Not by our counties, not by the state. We are volunteers on this board. We put in plenty of hours coming here to try to do the best job that we can do. But we are not accountants. We are not attorneys. And we rely upon the state to help us. So I think your problem lies deeper than this local board.
Are you done?
And the statement that I made, I misused the word. I called a gift card rather than what the actual card was, but there were car seats that were purchased during that period of time. I will say that, but I stand by the fact of what I knew at that time as being correct. This shows that there are some things that were not correct.
Are you done?
Yes.
Okay. There were no car seats bought with gift cards. None. Zero.
Not with gift cards, sir.
Sir, I'm done. You're done. This is my
I said that I used the wrong word for that.
All right.
You know, the reason I use the word gift card is whenever you take and give something to me, it's a gift. And so I don't care if it's a credit card or if it's whatever. If somebody's giving it to me, it's a gift card. It's just a generic statement. Now, you've taken it more precisely. I'm sorry.
And I appreciate your apology. What I haven't heard is...
Now, isn't that nice? They were volunteers.
Volunteers that don't get paid for this. They devote a lot of time to it, and they don't get paid. Do they?
What do you think?
Well, they're volunteers. They're not supposed to be paid, right? I mean, that's what the notion
What's
is
the
when you hear the word volunteer, right?
That's not even what volunteer is. The statute says they can't get paid.
Right.
Oh, volunteer or not.
You bet. And Teddy said they have not been paid. They don't get paid.
But we ought to prove them wrong.
Yeah, they do get paid. Is that a lie? What do you call that?
Well,
what do you call it when a man says he doesn't get paid when the records reflect that he did get paid right along with the other board
Wasn't there
members?
a writer named Tennessee Ford that had a really good word for that? Wasn't it mendacity? Mendacity. I think that's the word, isn't it? When they don't tell the truth.
Well, I guess I'm from the backwoods. I just call it a lie.
That's about right.
He's told a bunch of them down there, hadn't he?
What else is it? This was when, this was the meeting where they discussed the results of the forensic audit.
Right. That proved that he had lied about the gift cards. Now he misspoke.
That verified everything we said.
Yeah, you were at that meeting.
I was, and I think that made him go, in my mind anyway, from a volunteer to a politician. Because
Absolutely.
that's exactly how they all talk.
And then he started claiming ignorance. Well,
Now, that's another point.
and blaming everybody else.
The problem that I've got with that, when he says, I was a volunteer, I didn't know anything, the state didn't tell me. Wait a minute, he volunteered to know. He volunteered to work that board and to make sure that this wasn't going to happen. He
For how many
volunteered for a long time, wasn't it 20-something
Over
years?
20 years he's been on that
Yeah.
board.
So
Yeah, over 20 years.
that's where I have a problem is with this whole thing. If you volunteer to do a job, that means you're going to do the job, and part of doing the job is knowing what you're doing. If you're uneducated, you don't need to be on that board, and he just admitted in public he was completely uneducated about the whole process.
Well, if all the audits come back good, they're good.
Yeah, that's what they said. The audits all came back good.
I think I also heard him say something else that caught my attention. Well, we've been doing these kinds of things for years and years.
If we look back, we would find this has happened for years.
Wow. What does that mean as far as my tax money?
Exactly.
It means they're taking way too much of it and blowing it on things that shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And nobody's watching the store.
Yeah, it's interesting how a man can take that perspective. I'm just perplexed.
I think he probably ranks right up there with about any Chicago politician that I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
You know,
I think he'd fit in well in the Obama administration somewhere.
From what I understand, he hasn't been reappointed to the Ford County.
No, and I don't know if that was by his own decision to not be scrutinized anymore, or if they decided not to put him on because he didn't make them look very good. Made the whole Ford County board look pretty stupid.
Well, that's not
Anyway.
real hard to do.
June of this
That's
year,
been proven, by the way, guys.
June of this year, the multi-county board gets dissolved, the health department, and they start up the Iroquois County Health Department and a Ford County Health Department.
And
Separate entities.
Iroquois is way ahead of the ball game. They've already got an administrator. They've already set up shop, and they are operating as an independent health board or health agency as we speak.
Good for them.
They've definitely moved forward.
A year from
Ford
now.
County hasn't done that yet, have they?
Not that I know of. And, Ford County also never really explained to the voters, to the taxpayers, how much a new health department was going to cost either. We still don't know that answer.
That's because for the next 4 or 5 years, they can blame the Watchdogs and Doug Corbett. Or no one blamed Doug Corbett.
No, they defended Doug the whole time.
They'll blame Rod Kopus, the Watchdogs, and Iroquois County for all their problems of
Right.
lack of preparation.
Lack of preparation, oversight. Yeah, it's an interesting events up there at the health department.
I just remember one thing. The Reverend said that the next guy we get could be even worse.
I wonder if we need to look into the next guy that they got.
That's probably a good idea.
I've come to the conclusion, you look at all of them. I mean, it's everywhere. It's rampant. This forensic audit was interesting, and we'll have some documents hopefully by the end of the week on some other FOIAs. But it's going to tie right back to the board and the administrator. They not only knew what they were doing was illegal, they laughed at it in emails, and they fully intended on circumventing the law.
That's it for today.
Thank you much. We'll see you next time.